Ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube Rumble universe, what is going on with you on this Sunday, May 29th, 2022? Hope you all are doing well. It is 2:28 p.m. California time. I'm, of course, your always gracious host, Fallon from GoNootropics.com, coming at you with the coffee chairs. Once again, we are back cracking through with a video. We've got the coffee chairs, we've got the hat, we've got the glasses. Let me know which ones you guys prefer. We got these ones, which are like the blue light blockers, and then we got the classic ones, right? When you guys mentioned you prefer these, with the arm missing, the arm just broke and we just rolled with it. You just roll with it. The arm breaks off, you just keep the train rolling. What are you going to do? The wheel falls off. What are you going to do? Stop in your tracks. Stop doing what you're doing, right? So you let me know what shades you prefer. We are in this video talking about motivation. This is like being in the nootropics community for so long, being in the Discord, which I'll link you guys below. A lot of you guys know about the Discord by now and what's going on with that and how fun that is over there, and how that train just keeps rolling. The Discord, lots of discussions, people talking about kratom, nootropics, stacks. I'm somewhat active over there, not very active, not as much as I used to be, but that train just keeps rolling. There's a lot of other people smarter than me in the Discord, and that's cool. So if you want to join an active community of people who are into nootropics, that's the place to be. You can just hang out, be a wallflower, and do your thing and just watch the conversations unfold. That's what a lot of people do. I'd say there's maybe about 10, 15 people who are really active, and the rest of the 280 some odd members just kind of, pop in, check in from time to time. But this is something that always comes up, something I got into nootropics for, right? It's like motivation, baby. It's like, what happened to my motivation? This is what people want to know. Where did the motivation go? It's like, did I ever have motivation? This is the question some people ask, is like, was the motivation ever there? Was I ever motivated? And if I don't have motivation, well, how do I get it? I look at some people and I see they're very highly motivated individuals, man. It's like waking up early and going one step beyond, right? Just one step beyond with everything they do. And I tried to do that for a while, like trying to go the extra mile at work. You're in a job and you hear all these motivational speakers just say, if they give you a job at work, you do it to the best of your ability, and that's how you kind of climb the ladder. And then you look at the ladder you're climbing and it's like, do I even want to climb this ladder, man? Do I even want to put in the time, energy, and effort it takes to climb this ladder, to make more money, to achieve some type of success in this world, like kind of worldly success? Some people are motivated by money. They're motivated by climbing the ladder. I remember my boss. My boss is somebody who I would say is intrinsically motivated. You have like intrinsic motivation, which is motivation that comes from within. It's like you have a passion for something, and it's that passion, it's that burning passion that allows you to get up in the morning. It's like whatever you're doing. For some people, it's music. For some people, they've created their own business surrounding something that they're really passionate about, that really gets their juices going. This is like intrinsic motivation. And this is kind of my boss. I look at my boss. He's developed his own patented product, and I could tell at like 75 years old, he's intrinsically motivated to get up every day and work on his business. And I hear him talking to customers about his product, and there's a lot of there's a lot of passion behind his words. There's a lot of, excitement and passion. He's got more passion than certainly I do. Certainly more than most people I meet. This is intrinsic motivation. This is motivation that he derives from within. And then there's kind of extrinsic motivation. This is motivation that's outside of you. And I would say this is where most people are kind of hinged into this external motivation. It's like, well, you gotta go to work to pay the bills, you gotta go to work. You got kids, you got a mortgage, you're maybe like me, you just got like a studio or a 1-bedroom apartment. And you got to go to work because of these kind of external pressures. This is extrinsic motivation that you go to work because you have to. You don't want to be homeless. And this type of motivation is kind of driven by pain and fear. And it's like, well, yeah, you don't want to end up on the streets. You don't want to end up on the filthy streets. So you do these things because it's kind of like you have to. And this is where most people are kind of like shoehorned into this job they don't really like. They have to because the bills have to be paid, and you got to live life and this and that. But I'm thinking, like, if you could develop that a little intrinsic motivation, that's where you want to be. Something that wakes you up in the morning, something you like to do. And this is where like the real juices of life start to flow, is when you're intrinsically motivated by something that really draws that energy out of you, really draws that passion and that excitement out of you. And I'd say most people struggle with finding something that they're really motivated about, really passionate about. And I fall into this same camp. It's like, yeah, I play my guitar and I have a few things I like to do, and these videos are enjoyable to do, and running the enterprise is enjoyable. But am I waking up every day with a burning fire, a burning desire to do these things, a burning desire, like, oh, I gotta play my guitar, or oh, I got to upload a video? I wouldn't say that's necessarily the case. I do tech work on the side, computer work, systems administration, and things like that. And when I was younger, those things really did bring me a lot of fulfillment, and I had a big passion for that type of work. And now as I'm growing older, it's like, where is that same burning desire? Where is that same kind of fire that wakes me up in the morning and makes me want to just go out and climb the ladder and just attack the day? It's like, yeah, I've got a little bit of it, a little bit of intrinsic motivation. It's what causes me to turn on the camera, get up on the microphone, and give you guys the coffee chair. Certainly a little bit of intrinsic motivation is required to do these videos and to be a part of the community. But is this like, am I waking up excited like some people do? You look at some people and they're like just overflowing with motivation. I'm like, how do you do it? And then you listen to like motivational speakers like Tony Robbins, and you go to maybe one of his seminars, and maybe for a week, maybe for a couple weeks, it's like you brainwash yourself into feeling more excited than you are about the thing, whether that's your job, or in the case of Tony Robbins, he does a lot of like network marketing. I remember my parents did network marketing, and I remember looking at the people thinking that something was so off about these people. It's like they were so motivated about this, arguably not that great of a product, and they're calling people up and they're doing these mixers, man, and everybody's like gathered around in like this weird cultish environment, and everyone's like, they got this big smile, and they shake your hand, and they stare deep into your eyes. It's like Tom Cruise, man. Scientology. It's like there's some type of spirit that overtakes these people. And I don't know. I don't have that. I don't have that same spirit. I can never really get myself into that zone. I can never get myself excited about work, and sometimes my boss asks me like, why am I not more motivated? He's like, you're so smart. Why are you in the situation that you're in? You should be a lot more successful than you are, and blah blah blah. And he's wondering why I'm not motivated at work like he is. I'm like, really? You don't understand? Like, this is not my thing here. This is not my project. This is your project. I'm getting paid a wage to help you out. And he kind of wonders why the people around him don't have the same level of motivation. And I think people with intrinsic motivation, there's a convergence of somebody who's really talented at something. And I think a lot of people who rely upon extrinsic motivation, external motivation, it's like they either haven't found a talent that they're good at, haven't found anything that they could really excel at. If you look at people who are extremely passionate, you look at really heightened examples like a Kobe Bryant or a Michael Jordan. These are people who were very, very good at what they did. Just very, very good. And anytime you find people who are very talented, you often notice that the motivation seems to follow, the passion seems to follow. And if you could tie those two things together, being very talented at something and very passionate about something, that's like the game winning formula. But I think the reality is that's not the case for the average man. That's not the case for the average person. The average person is going to be more or less talentless, or at the very least of average intelligence. And, they might have some natural proclivity to, say, playing something like guitar, but they never really get to that point where they're really good at it. And this is the plight of the average man. This is the plight of the average person. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there's a solution to that. I'm not sure if the average Joe can ever develop a true sense of intrinsic motivation, because it's so hinged. That intrinsic motivation is hinged on also being very talented at something, very good at something that you do. And being talented tends to lead to feeling fulfilled and passion. So it's like, what comes first? Is it the passion and then the talent? Or is it the talent? It's like you're really good at something, and then because you're really good at that thing, the passion follows, right? I'm not sure. But I know I have my talents, and I'm sure you do too. And a lot of people have talents, and it's like, well, yeah, I've got these talents, but why is there not that drive? Why is there not that motivation to pursue those talents? I'm really not sure what it is. It's like, I suppose I don't put a lot of emphasis on, achieving a lot of money or achieving success. My boss was telling me this story about how he used to play in the band at school, like the school band, and he was a drummer. And on the wall, they had like an achievement chart of like the students, the kids, and the band members who were doing the best. And it was like this tiered list of, okay, here's the people who are doing the best, here's the people who showed up early. And it was like this, it was supposed to be like this tiered achievement list that was just publicly posted on the wall. And he said it was motivating for him to get to the very top, of the ladder on that list. And I'm looking at that, and I'm like, you see, that does not motivate me in the slightest. It does not motivate me to be number one on the charts. It's like, put me on the chart or not, I don't care. And I think that's the key. It's like people who are driven, they do have this need to be on the top. They do have this need to prove themselves to others and to be at the top. And that's just something that I don't have. And I think that's something that a lot of people could just not care about at all. It's like, who cares if you're on the list, if you make the list, if you don't make the list, if people look at you. That's not something I've ever placed a lot of importance. And I think it's something to do with that, like not needing to be first, not needing to be in first place, not needing to be at the top of the charts, but also at the same time you live in a society where it's like unless you're at the top, it's like you constantly have to strive to be at the top. And this is how kind of society is set up, where you got to be at the top and you got to climb the ladder, and the people at the top get the most, and they get the most girls, they make the most money, and this and that. And I've always looked at that like a stupid game, man. It's just like a stupid game. It's like, why play that game? It's like, why are you playing this game, wasting time playing this game? And I think a lot of us who struggle with motivation, it's like, why am I not motivated? It's like you've kind of checked out of the game. It's like society is forcing this game down your throat that you got to be at the top, you got to strive for more. But meanwhile, you have this like cognitive dissonance about it, because it's like, yeah, you might try to do that, but you always feel that something is just a little off, right? Something is a little off, Perhaps these things aren't supposed to be the main motivators of our life. Perhaps it's your spirit that's pushing against this idea that you got to be at the top of the ladder. You got to be at the top of the charts. You got to make X amount of money and this and that. And when you live in that society and you always think something is off, it kind of creates this loop in your head that maybe something is off with you, right? Maybe something's off with you, because every day you walk out the door, every day you turn on the TV, you're seeing people who are at the top. Society's telling you, you got to get to the top, you got to climb to the top of the ladder. And you're just sitting there going, man, is there something wrong with me that I'm not motivated like these people? The same things that motivate a small percentage of the people at the very top don't motivate me, right? You start a business and you want your employees to be motivated. You want your employees to show up. But the employees are never going to be quite as motivated as you, the person who started the business. But this is why these companies, these corporations, do these motivational seminars, and they pay Tony Robbins, tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars to give these talks to these massive corporations and network marketers and this and that. And it's kind of like a mass brainwashing to make you as productive as possible, right? To make you as just productive for the system as possible. And that's really that. And you live your life thinking something's off with you. It's like, where's your motivation? Well, motivation and the sense of happiness is like something that, they shove down our throats. They shove it down our throats. But I don't think that's the purpose of all this at all. Coming from the Christian faith, I have different ideas about this world. And when you know that the world is temporary, that this present world is about to shift and life is but a vapor, it's like these things, they really don't push your buttons, man. They don't push your buttons. So if you're feeling off, like, oh, I'm not motivated, like what's going on, just make that mental shift in your head that it's something wrong with society. Society is downloading this information into your head that you gotta be motivated. And if you're not motivated, constantly happy, constantly climbing to the top, that there's something wrong with you. I don't think that's the case at all. Now, I think there's some motivation that you can tap into. I also think some people can get really depressed, and I think you need to differentiate those moments where, you just have a natural level of motivation to do things, a natural baseline of motivation. And oftentimes that natural baseline doesn't live up to the standards that society wants you to fulfill. And just coming to a place where where you see that society is indeed forcing these unreasonable standards of motivation and happiness onto you, and understanding that life is not always going to be motivating. You're not always going to be happy, but also dropping into that natural pocket of that motivation where what you're supposed to actually feel outside of the external influences of society, but also knowing when you're dropping too low into depression, which is bad, because I think most people have a natural tendency to be kind of right down in the middle, but if you drop too low, that's when you kind of need to bring it back to its natural baseline. Understand that going so far with it is going to burn you out, and you're not going to feel good. There's something going to be off with your spirit, off with your mental framework and how you're seeing things if you push past your natural limits. But also understanding that, if you let society crush you, you can drop below where you're naturally supposed to be. And in that case, you need to get back. You need to get back to that center. So yeah, everybody has a little bit of motivation, and I think you should strive towards finding some type of motivation that stimulates you, that comes out of you internally, and understanding that even that intrinsic motivation, like the example I gave of, me playing guitar, me doing these videos, you're never going to get to the level of Tony Robbins or Michael Jordan or a Kobe Bryant. That's never going to be you. You're also born with a certain framework of chemicals in your brain. You're also born with like a gas tank, right? It's like some of us just don't have that much gas in the tank. Now, this could be physical energy, this could be mental energy, and things like that. And it's kind of like really take a stock of where your gas tank is. What kind of car are you driving? Some people are born with the Rabbit, the Volkswagen Rabbit, or like the Ford Pinto or something, or one of these like smaller cars that can't go that fast. Others is like born into a body, born into a brain that's like a McLaren. It's like more energy, more hormones, more gas in the tank to get things done. And I think that's the other thing that plays into it. It's like you don't have that much gas in the tank. And now, can you optimize that? Certainly. And I think you should optimize your body, optimize your brain to the best you can. But at some point, just really taking a mental stock, a look in the mirror, and a look at the reality and say, you know what? Well, this is the car I was born with. This is the power I got. This is the best it's going to be. And then kind of relax into a position where you accept that. And that is going to bring you peace, that level of acceptance, and kind of checking out from the standards of society and just dropping into the place where you were born to be, baby. And that's really that. Fallon, GoNootropics.com. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And I will see you very soon. Peace.